Hello, Internet. It is I, the Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today we are talking about Vindicating Trump. Yep. We're doing this because this is a wide release, which means I have no choice but to talk about it. So as usual, I'm going to be going over the pros and cons, and I really just want to get this video over with. So let's just go on right along with the pros. Well, obviously, this is all about Donald J. Trump, the former president of the United States, who's currently going up against Kamala Harris for the 2024 election, which is going on as we speak. Okay, so Donald. Okay, first of all, something I didn't notice until I first saw the poster of this movie or documentary or whatever. What is going on with his face? Look at that. Something is very wrong here. Doesn't look like him at all. It feels very airbrushed. It's just unnatural, uncanny. Just no. Just something's very wrong there. But and obviously this is based on his his first attempted assassination, which happened in July, where someone actually he got shot. Legit, he survived, obviously, but this is based off that. If you were curious, um, yeah, with Donald Trump, talking about him would take too long, and I just don't want to waste my breath going over all this stuff surrounding him, all the stuff he said in the past, all the stuff he said recently, the fact that we're allowing a convicted felon to run for president, which just sounds like pure madness to me, but what can I do about that? um yeah, just way too much to go over with Trump. I didn't even mention January 6th. I mean, that was a big incident that happened where he basically incited the riot slash insurrection, whatever you want to call it, on that day. Basically got blacklisted from social media, pretty much. Started his own social media, Trump Social, which hasn't been doing well at all. So, but yeah, that's just a few things. Going over everything would just take ages. But the important thing to note is that Trump has fans. He has followers. He has worshipers. I'm just being honest here. I mean, the way some people, I'm not saying everyone acts like this, but the way a solid amount of his followers act and the way they talk about Trump, how they basically worship him, that's not normal. Okay, that is not something that should be encouraged. That is not something that's something people shouldn't do. You should never worship somebody else. You should never worship another person like this. That is unhealthy. It's pretty much, it feels like a very a parasocial relationship in a way. And it's just weird and disturbing, and I don't like it one bit. But yeah, Trump has a very large fan base, a very large group of people who will support him no matter what he does, no matter what he says. And obviously, this is geared towards that fan base. So obviously, people, that fan base will, at least not all of them, but some of them will definitely be interested in this movie. They'll be supporting this movie. And I guess I can label that as a pro. I guess. So that's pro number one. Pro number two is the audience score for this movie is a 97%. Although I know damn well the type of people who are giving this high scores. But against my better judgment, I'm gonna look at the ratings. A lot of 5 stars. Wow, shocking. um, let's see. This is a great detail, fantastic movie, well done. Telling the other died. That's what it says. DIDE of politicians. I'm pretty sure they meant to say side, but they said died. I'm just like, yeah, okay. This says says, unfortunately, it just preaches to the choir. It's kind of, I was going to say that later when it comes to like the issue with this thing. But it says, yet should motivate Republicans to vote and persuade others. Excellent documentary, very factual. I don't know if I would agree with that, but this is what whoever this is, like, that's what they said. Uh, this is absolutely eye-opening, very good and inspiring. Yes, 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 must see. Yeah, it's just, yeah. Facts and truth with no hype. Like, what does that even mean? What are you saying? But yeah, so obviously the people who watch this movie, the Trump supporters, they're all over. Although I am seeing some negative reviews popping in, so it's not 100% positive. One of them literally says, "You are fucking morons. Read actual facts." And another one reads, "Interesting how review after review talks about the exposure of how easy it is to commit voter fraud, yet no proof of widespread voter fraud, just baseless accusations by a man who can't come to the terms with the fact that he is a loser." So that's like a half star. Blah 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 blah. Another half star, not worth your time. What is this review? It says, this should be a horror movie. For the lengths the evil and corrupt would go just to maintain power is truly terrifying. Truly will shock and leave you with nightmares and anxiety. Bring your Xanax? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, the people you would expect are given this very high scores, but because the score is so high, I have to give it a, I have to label it a pro. You know what's really sad? The audience score is the same score as Wild Robot, a movie that I would imagine like deserves its scores. So yeah, that's a sad thing to say, but audience score, I'll label it as a pro. And that's it with pros. Okay, cons. As one of the audience review says, this movie's preaching to the choir, very much so. Like, it's not going to convert like anyone into becoming like a Trump super fan or anything like that. It appeals directly to his core fan base, and that's pretty much it. So if you're not a part of said core fan base, you're not going to give a damn about this movie slash documentary. So the appeal for this is hella narrow as a result. And if you want your movie to really succeed, it has to be like broad appeal. You can't just appeal to one specific group of people. So yeah, just the very narrow appeal of this, I'm gonna label that as a con. Trying to think of another con off the top of my head. I guess it's the fact that this is obviously hella political and people just don't like politics. I very much don't like politics. I try to stay away from it. I try to avoid the topic on this channel. But I guess politics doesn't want to avoid me. They just, it doesn't help it's election year and whatnot. But yeah, politics is just a turnoff for a lot of people. It doesn't bring in ticket sales at all. So yeah, just like the fact that this is explicitly political, I consider that to be a con. I guess, well, there's something I should note is that the trailer for this like appeared on like all screenings of Am I Racist, which came out like 2 weeks ago, and that movie like financially it hasn't done like terrible, like really terrible, but it hasn't set the world on fire either. It's just kind of there. So the fact that Am I Racist, it's just done like meh business. It's not really helping this movie. So yeah. Um yeah, well, it's not really a pro or a con, it's just something I wanted to note. I guess another con is that who this was made by. Dinesh D'Souza, and this dude was behind like Obama's America, which was like back in 2012. This was like yeah, this was like the 2012 election. I'm trying to find it. Is it here? Yeah, 2016 Obama's America, which did really well. Like in all honesty, they did like fantastic for documentary standards. Like 33 million. That's a great number for a documentary. But after that, he's never like reclaimed that success. I mean, what do we got here? Like Hillary's America, that only made like less than half. There's the Death of a Nation, which just was you did even worse. Um, what else? There was another one he made that I know everyone has forgotten about because no one cared about it. It's called 2000 Mules, which I will look up right here. 2000 Mules. It won't be like easy to find. Okay, this where it talks about all the widespread voter fraud in the 2020 election, right? So this thing has the gall to be like, they thought we'd never find out they were wrong, and I'm just like, it's so goofy the way it's like shown here. And this is just like this is just straight conspiracy theory. We're in conspiracy theory territory, and no one gave a shit about this thing. No, it was unseen. No one cared. So if that didn't do well, then what chances? Well, I guess this has a slightly better chance of success, but still, like Dinesh D'Souza, yeah, I think his is it's just been a downhill slide for him, like financially. So, gotta label that as a con. And yeah, So I don't know, I haven't even mentioned like all the controversy surrounding Trump, but I guess the his supporters, they don't give a shit. I think Trump himself said like he can like shoot somebody, and then they'd still support his fans will still support him, and I firmly agree with that because like his followers are so like it's like they made Trump like a part of their personality, which is again not. It's just weird. It's just not right. You shouldn't be doing that. So yeah, but I think that's it. So opening weekend, maybe this can hit $1 million. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't think this will do anywhere near as well as Am I Racist? But I'm gonna say $1 million, and then opening week, and then final total. I don't know, 2-3 mil. I don't know, but we're done. Thank God. I never want to talk about that ever again. But we'll have to talk about Trump again 2 weeks from now because I have to talk about The Apprentice, which is a more it's less a less bias take on Trump, at least comparatively less bias. So yeah, but that's 2 weeks from now. Now I only have one more movie to talk about this weekend. That's of course The Wild Robot. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, so that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, share the whole drill. You want to check out more videos like this? I got playlists on the homepage, all previous prediction videos I made on the channel this year, the past few years. You want to watch any of those videos, go right ahead. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. Just did my summer 2024 recap. Both parts are up right now. My September recap will go over October. Will come out between the 4th and 11th of October, so stay tuned for that. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made on the channel, you can go right ahead. It's also the canceled series where I went over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't, all 250 episodes. Never talked about Vindicating Trump once because it literally just appeared on the schedule like a couple days ago, I think. So, yeah. Um, but if you want to watch any of my canceled episodes, binge them all from beginning to now, I highly encourage you to do that, so go do it. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.